So happy for Trish Stratus. Moving on was Brie Bella versus Alicia Fox. Um, so during this match, AJ Lee was backstage with Tamina Snuka. Like, why are we just randomly putting people with AJ Lee now? Like I loved what AJ did in the promo that she did about like a month and a half ago. I loved it because it was exactly what everybody in the crowd was thinking. It's what we've all thought. It's pretty much the reality of our it's our feelings just finally being like um kind of just like being projected and somebody spoke them out. But that promo has been hurt in so many ways. It feels so much like fluff now because nothing has come of it. Like they've been calling this, what is it, the pipe bombshell is what they're calling AJ Punk. Sorry, AJ Punk, AJ Lee now, because after that whole promo she did, I'm not buying it anymore. Now I'm not buying it because like at least when CM Punk drops his pipe bombs, there's something coming. Like you know that there's going to be a change. Like he delivers that promo on John Cena and the whole shoot on Vince McMahon and the WWE Corporation. He says, "I'm leaving with the title." He left with the title. He comes back and he drops those pipe bombs on Triple H and um, on Alberto Del Rio, and you know something is going to come as a result of it. With this AJ Lee, and they're calling it the pipe bombshell. I like, what has she done since then? She's not looking super strong. She's not looking strong in matches. She's looking okay. She loses to Brie Bella for no reason. She taps out immediately to the sharpshooter on Natalia. I understand that, yes, in the pay-per-view she does well, but she finds a way to win, but she doesn't look strong. They're randomly putting her with like the most random assortment of divas, which just looks like a fake. It just looks like a low version of the Total Divas cast being together. Like it makes no sense. I hate it. It's not working for AJ, and it's making that promo that she did like a few like a month ago. It has no meaning because like, oh, I'm the real wrestler, so I'm just gonna recruit all these people now, and we're gonna have 10 diva tag team matches where they barely work, and I don't show them the respect that they deserve as wrestlers or whatever, since since we're the real divas. It's really not working. And I'm starting to think that she's going to drop the title of Battleground. And I hate it because she's going to drop the title to Brie Bella. Um, but anyway, the Brie Bella Alicia Fox match I liked a bit because Alicia Fox got to work in it. Like they actually let Alicia Fox showcase her wrestling ability, and Alicia Fox looked pretty good in the ring. And if anything has come out of Total Divas, I will say that it's given all the divas more television time. Which, granted, they can't say that they've ever seen anywhere near this close to television time. In terms of the whole divas locker room, not just like two of them. They're all getting TV time, which I like. But yeah, they got some time to work. Um, and I'm noticing now that Brie Bella has her 5 moves of doom, or really just her 2 moves of doom. Um, it's a and you can call me out on this if I'm wrong. Drop kick, drop kick, drop kick. Her going to the crowd and being like, "Come on, whatever city I'm in." She's done it for 3 weeks in a row, so I should know what her routine now is. Drop kick, drop kick, drop kick. Come on, where were they in Biloxi last night? Come on, Biloxi, yeah, I'm throwing my arms up. Please get behind me, please. And because I remember when she did it in Chicago, like Chicago no-sold the shit out of her. They really didn't care. Biloxi gave her a decent pop tonight. And then like she did a reversal and then she hits her face buster. That's what she does. It's yeah, it's like drop kick, drop kick, drop kick, usually reversal, and then face buster. And then Brie wins the match. And the commentators no sold the entire thing. The commentators gave no fucks about what was going on in that match. And then by the time Brie hit the facebuster, like they were like, "Oh, is this enough? Oh, it is. If she does this on Sunday, she wins the Divas Championship." I mean, granted, I personally can't get invested in a Brie Bella match, but you're a commentator. Like, you can't just completely no sell as much as I hate it and as much as weak as it looked, you do have to acknowledge that that's her finisher. That move usually is going to finish the match, and it has been finishing the match for the past 3 weeks. I understand it looks weak, it looks stupid, it's not good, but that is her finisher. You do need to acknowledge that much at least. I'm not a fan of as much as I'm not a fan of Brie Bella, I'm really not a fan of the commentators just completely no selling the finisher and no selling the match overall because it was actually a pretty decent match. So anyway, after the commercial, Axel's in the locker room and Axel's just kind of like going nuts and he's like Heyman's trying to get him to relax and Heyman's totally in his element. He feels fine. And Ryback is no. And then Heyman's like talking about the big beautiful man that Ryback is, and then Ryback walks in and he's like that no one should be distracted by CM Punk and that he would go after and get CM Punk. And then he told Ryback to go get something to eat, and then he would go meet him in the ring or whatever. And then Heyman's like, "I'm gonna propose to Ryback," and I'm like, "Oh my god, this is really getting out of control." It's hilarious, it's funny, but in that same respect, I'm just like, "Oh my god, like this is really happening." We're gonna make a gay joke. All right, fine. Let's go on with it. Then Renee Young goes and interviews Big Show and I'm gonna skip this because I can't stand talking about the Big Show and this whole bitch gimmick that he has now. Like I'm gonna permanently call him the Bitch Show until like Big Show like because am I supposed to care? Like am I supposed to be feeling bad for Big Show because it's really difficult for me to do it. Like every single week, this man gets castrated. That's what happens. But this week the difference is that he's like, oh, I'm going to knock Triple H the hell out. Like I was waiting for him to say the fuck out because that seemed like what he wanted to say. The hell out just sounded a little weaker, but I understand it's PG. You can't really say that. Well, not only that, but you can't say fuck on television. Um, but yeah, but then there was a break, and then R-Truth was in Maddox's office, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I should get a shot at the Intercontinental Championship." Why? Because you rolled up. Sorry, why? Because you hit your finisher on Curtis Axel, and you did it because CM Punk played a distraction for you. Like that you picked up one victory on the guy. Relax. And then Big Show kind of stormed in, and R-Truth ran away. And like Big Show comes up, and finally, okay, I can say that Big Show wasn't a bitch here. He came up, got Brad Maddox, just picked him up, and like threw him up against the wall. And you could see Brad Maddox and all of his silly Brad Maddox Bradness, with his bright blue pants and his suit and everything that looks way too tight on him. And he pretty much, just like made Brad Maddox Brad look like a pussy, and said he's gonna wait in Triple H's office to find him. So that ends. Alberto Del Rio then has his match against Zack Ryder, and this is what I meant. And this was the joke I meant to say was that Zack Ryder didn't even come out with a pink shirt, and Alberto Del Rio did. So you know that Zack Ryder is gonna lose. He's not main event enough to have a pink shirt. So Ryder was actually getting some work in this match. He hit a broski boot too, which looked really lethal from the angle that they showed it from. Like it looked like it legit hurt. Um, so yeah, Ryder got some decent offense off in this match. Got off to a really hot start. And then Del Rio, I don't even know how like Del Rio got himself back into this. He somehow injured Ryder's shoulder, and then he locked in the cross arm breaker and made Ryder tap out. It was strange, like because I thought that if anybody should have won that match just from the ring work, I thought Zack Ryder would. I know that Zack Ryder shouldn't win that match against Alberto Del Rio, but like Del Rio didn't like. I understand like Del Rio normally doesn't look strong, and well, no, there are occasions where he does, but like this was like really weird that someone who right now is just kind of jobbing and but it's starting to slowly get ring time now. Like put on a good match against Alberto Del Rio. Like I thought that Zack Ryder was the stronger wrestler in that match, even though I know Del Rio was supposed to win. Um, I didn't really have any problems with that match, honestly. Though it went the way that it should have, and I like that Ryder got his screen time, and not only that, but got to work in a match as well. Moving on, Alberto Del Rio. Oh no! I'm sorry. Paul Heyman and Ryback come out, and uh, he just kind of like goes on about CM Punk and like his 18,000 comrades in like Chicago, and then um like it's CM Punk. And like Heyman gave him like credit, gave credit to CM Punk for his commitment to breaking his face. But the reason why that hasn't happened yet is that um, Ryback has been committed to making sure CM Punk doesn't touch him, and they do like this whole like romance thing where Ryback's like touching Heyman's face. It was so out of control, and during the entire time, all I could think of was, why was this Ryback not able to talk? Like why did Ryback have so many hit or miss promos against John Cena, and yet this Ryback is like completely winning me over? Like this guy has mic skills. He can talk, and it's hilarious. Even the way he just says the word bullies, like he says, a bully, a bully, and I was talking to Wise about how much I hated it, but how much I not hated it, but like how much like I didn't like the way that he said the word bully. But then the way that Wise like kind of like spun it off was that I love it. It makes him sound like he's a little kid. And I'm like, I get it now. Ryback is a little kid. He's a little kid, and he's like in this like big man's body. It's totally comedic, and like him saying bully just kind of like it sounds like a 4-year-old saying it. Like, oh, he's being a bully to me. Like I get it. It's funny. I actually really like it, and I like the way he says it now. So yeah, the joke is that like they're doing the whole like, oh, till death do us part thing. Heyman gets on one knee and he asks Ryback if he will become a Paul Heyman guy. The second that he says that, CM Punk's music hits, and again, he's not coming out towards the ramp, but instead he's coming out. It's coming out through the barricade, and so as he jumps over the barricade, he lands kind of awkwardly and grabs his knee, and for a second, I thought it was legit. But then I thought about how long it took for the trainers to get there, and then I was like, you know what, CM Punk's fine. He's fine. He's selling an injury here. And I don't know if anybody else didn't catch up on it, but the Karate Kid reference. This was pretty much the scene from Karate Kid where his leg is fucked up, and he comes in the ring with one leg. Then he comes to the ring. He comes back to the match, and then hits that crane kick to win, all on one leg. That's what it was all. This was all Karate Kid references. That's all it was. Down from the knee injury down to him doing the crane pose at the end. It's all Karate Kid. This is what that scene was. So CM Punk, feigns the injury, and they bring him up near the ring, near the ring apron, and Paul Heyman's coming close to it. And then as they do it, the traders check him out. CM Punk reaches. Sorry, I'm really tired. CM Punk reaches for a kendo stick underneath the apron, immediately pulls it out and just swipes right underneath the bottom rope where near where the apron is, and just like swipes it straight at like Paul Heyman's knees, straight at his legs. Paul Heyman falls, and then Ryback has to get him out of the ring, and Curtis Axel comes out, and then he makes Curtis Axel go to sleep. Oh no! He beats Axel with the kendo stick. Um, I think he hit Ryback with it once too. Ryback and Heyman bailed, and then Axel got hit with the GTS. Like, Axel is looking stupid weak now. Like, wasn't this the Intercontinental Championship that, like, Intercontinental Champion that we were all supposed to, that CM Punk was supposed to, I don't want to say help get over, but, you know, it was supposed to bring him some credibility. And yet every week he's just getting beaten. He's become the donkey's ass of the joke. And I said to Wiza in the chat, because Ryback has not held a belt yet. What if the proposal, because like, did you see how jealous Axel looked in the back during that segment? And I said, what if the proposal is that Paul Heyman proposes that he become his new Intercontinental Champion? But I feel like I see it coming. The seeds have been planted. There's going to be a jealousy angle soon with Ryback and Axel and Heyman. I can see it coming. Anywho, then we had the Shield versus Dolph Ziggler and the Usos. The Usos, who were the first, I think it was Jey Uso who was the first person to ever pin Roman Reigns, which is just that's just I still can't even say that and not get pissed off a little bit. But anyway, the match got off really quick. Ziggler and Uso and the Usos had their offense. Then they came back from commercial break. The Shield were pretty much dominating the match at that point. They were pretty much they pretty much had Ziggler dead to rights. Like, they wouldn't allow him to get to the corner. Like Roman Reigns was. Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose were going back and forth, like tagging in, tagging out, getting like free strikes on them, just like pretty much making sure that Ziggler was feeling the pain. Then Ziggler finally finds a way to break free and makes the hot tag to the Usos. They come in. And pretty much like all teams, like they just forgot that this was a tag team match and just did whatever they wanted to them. Like people were just cleaning house left and right. Ziggler came back in and like I think he got like Dean Ambrose out of the ring, or was it Seth Rollins? I can't remember. They were doing super kicks on Roman Reigns. Seth Rollins was coming in, like trying to hold people down with like his foot or whatever. It was a match that was going all over the place. At some point there was a blind tag made to Seth Rollins. I think it was as Ziggler was trying to set Seth Rollins up for the zigzag. I think he hit the zigzag, but then as soon as Ziggler turned around, bang, spear. Roman Reigns ends the match. And that's it. So the Shield won. And then Big Show was, they announced during the match, Big Show was waiting in Triple H's office. And I'm like, so he's just going to sit there until this match is over, and then after a commercial break, and then we're going to cut the Big Show? Like, in reality, that's really dumb, because like somebody's obviously going to know that you're there and is going to take care of the fact that you're there. And sure enough, we come back from commercial break and a bunch of police officers come and pretty much make Big Show stand down. But they were like, Mr. White, blah, 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 and they're going to take him to jail. Stephanie McMahon comes in and stops everything, and she talks to the police officers about, the Big Show and his problems at home and, his financial issues. And why did Stephanie have to do this? Why does Stephanie have to go and say like, your wife says that you haven't exactly measured up to her expectations? Like, why do we have to castrate this man any further? Why? Well, other than that, it's, like at this point, Big Show is just continually being castrated. So why not add it on and just say that the man can't even satisfy his wife? And so Big Show does his normal crying routine, and then there's a picture of the new Triple H DVD, which has like the King on it, and then he just sits there and punches a hole through the wall. Then we have another YouTube segment. Oh, Renee Young is interviewing Rob Van Dam, and she's like, "Oh, let's take a look at this video." They show the whole YouTube video, of Rob Van Dam, 10 most extreme moments, and like they're just sitting there watching it, and we're sitting there watching it. It's YouTube on your television. It's not like I can just go. It's not like I can just go to WWE.com, watch the YouTube video there. Now I have no reason to watch it because I know what happens, and I've seen everything. No point in me going on YouTube to watch it or like it. Nope. I'm no selling that. Just like why are we pushing YouTube now? Oh, because you have 2 million subscribers. Ugh, just like I don't understand what they're doing. But anyway, Rob Van Dam talks about how Del Rio doesn't know how like RVD can get when it comes to hardcore matches and blah 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 blah. So they're just hyping up the fact that this is a hardcore match. Anywho, the match that pissed me off the most tonight, once again, Antonio Cesaro versus Santino Marella. It was pretty much just a repeat of the first and second match that they had, where it's just back and forth. Santino and Cesaro are putting up offense against each other. Cesaro puts Santino in that big swing, and then the big swinging, and they're swinging, and they're swinging. Santino, this time Santino actually sells the big swing where he tries to get up and then like falls down like he's a cartoon back on the floor. Oh, that's right. I forgot. Before this, Santino tried to pull out the Cobra, and Cesaro made him like spin with the Cobra around him, and the Cobra I think flew off at some point, or he like ripped it off and then threw it away because he thought the Cobra was stupid. And again, in typical Santino fashion, and he pins Antonio Cesaro with a roll up. Or some sort of like I can't remember what it was. I don't know if it was a roll up or just some stupid looking pin. Again, it just makes you say why, why are we having Antonio Cesaro lose to Santino Marella? Antonio Cesaro is your future. He is your future. We know how strong he is. The guy neutralized Great Khali. His 7 foot 400 no selling bending ass. He neutralized him. This guy is ridiculously strong. His moveset alone should be able to get people over. He had one of the best matches of the year with Daniel Bryan, and he just jobs to Santino Marella. Why? Why are you doing this? Why? And then after that, I'm so fed up at this point. Then we finally have the face-to-face confrontation between Daniel Bryan and Randy Orton. But before that, Jerry the King Lawler comes out, and he's like the MC of this all. And at first, he kind of like talks about how Daniel Bryan and Brie Bella are getting like they're engaged and they're gonna get married, and the whole thing, I hated it. Like it's too lovey-dovey, like it feels way too forced, and then you have to bring the whole Total Divas thing where it's just like, oh, you'll probably see more of it on Total Divas, blah 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 blah, plugging. But like, isn't it weird that on TV, on Total Divas, that they call Daniel Bryan Bryan Danielson? Like they've acknowledged that that's his real name. Yet the Bella twins, they never get addressed as Brie and Nicole Garcia Colas. Like that, they're never called that. We never address them by that name on Total Divas. We never do. But it's okay that we know that Daniel Bryan's real name is Bryan Danielson. Isn't that kind of backwards? Like, why aren't we addressing people as they're, I don't know, whatever. I'm thinking too much into this. Anywho, so Lawler is out there, and he's pretty much the only thing that's in between Randy Orton and Daniel Bryan at this point, and he asked him about like Triple H's decision to strip the title from Daniel Bryan. Orton says that he was like upset about it at first, but then he realized that this gave him a chance to reach his full potential again, and that the Viper isn't watered down anymore. Now he's void of morality, and he's completely back. And he said that he was going to beat Daniel Bryan at Battleground because he's just genetically superior to the small and weak dwarfish Daniel Bryan. And Daniel Bryan just kind of laughs it off, and he's like, "Oh, you talk a great game, Randy." But he's like, "I don't need Triple H to motivate and inspire me. I can motivate." He never needed any outside motivation. He motivates himself, and that he reached his full potential on his own. And Randy Orton's like, he told that he's been, on a roll of late, and like he just no sold the fact that he just won at Night of Champion, and it was just like, oh yeah, you've been on a roll of late. You're marrying a Bella, like that's the role he's been on. Like, I mean, can we do a little better than that? But we all know what this is setting up for. So Orton just pretty much goes, and he's like saying that that like Bree's gonna realize that she's not married to a handsome champion, but that she's sleeping with a barn animal. That's cold. Like, you ain't have to do that. So of course Daniel Bryan goes off on him and starts attacking Orton out of the ring, and it's just like kicking him into like the barricade and everything. Daniel Bryan, and then Orton somehow gets control. I think Daniel Bryan was trying to throw him into the ring steps. Orton reversed and then threw him into the ring steps. And then Orton threw Daniel into the ring post, and then Orton was holding up Daniel Bryan for that DDT off of the the ring apron onto the floor. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Brie Bella runs out. All right, now, me and Wiza talked about this last night, and we're on two completely different pages on this one. And I'm okay with that, because I get where Wise is coming from, but he has to understand, like, I think he understands this, but, like, the way that I phrased it was this. I hated that Brie Bella got forced into this. Like, she's gonna marry Daniel Bryan, so now we have to force her into the storyline and create some tension that doesn't need to be there. And as a matter of fact, I don't even feel the tension, honestly. I feel like Brie Bella is actually taking away from this, and that now this is giving Brie Bella an excuse to beat AJ Lee at Battleground. That's just how I feel. And then on top of that, like, what does she really add to this whole thing? I mean, Daniel Bryan has been getting his like Randy Orton has done stuff to Daniel Bryan before. Where was she until now? Like, now all of a sudden she's coming out to the ring, and now she's being a part of this whole emotional thing. Now this is happening. We're doing this now. We're picking a really weird time to do this right before the pay-per-view. It feels really forced to me. It does. And I understand that Wiza said that, like, oh, but, when it happened with, the Miz in front of, his parents, you liked it. And I'm like, yeah, but it was different. Like, he was in his hometown of Cleveland. His parents were there. Like, and yes, I like that Randy Orton, was beating, gave this beating to the Miz in front of his parents, but on top of that, the beating that he gave him was far more severe than the one that he gave to Daniel Bryan. Like, the Viper came out against the Miz. I mean, remember, that ended with a concerto. And granted, the Miz no-sold it the next week and just came back as if nothing happened, but like, that Viper hit a concerto. He went over the top with RVD as well. Here, he throws Daniel Bryan to a ring steps, hits the DDT off the top, and then RKO's him through a table. To me, it didn't feel as severe as like when he did it. Like it looked like he wanted to kill the Miz. Here, it just looked like he maybe wanted to hurt Daniel Bryan. Like I didn't see full Viper out there. Considering that Daniel Bryan actually got offense off on him and like kicked him into the barricade and was about to throw him into the steel steps, like the like I didn't see full Viper. I didn't. And so Bree's sitting there pleading for him to like to not for her to not DDT Bryan. He does it anyway because it's Randy Orton. But to me, like I don't like I don't like the fact that Bree is getting involved in this. Because like I understand why with them pushing the whole marriage thing, but other than that, what does she really have to do with all this? Like, and I go back and I talk to Wise about this too, and I say this isn't the Viper. I mean, this is like the Viper before. Stephanie McMahon talked about this. This was like this was the man who handcuffed my. Stephanie talked about this. This is the man who handcuffed. Like the Viper was a man who handcuffed my husband to the ring ropes and DDT'd me onto the ring and kissed me right in front of my husband. Where was that? Yeah, like that Randy Orton isn't out there right now when Brie Bella and Daniel Bryan are there. Like all the harm went to Daniel Bryan. Like is the emotional struggle that Daniel Bryan just got his ass beat in front of Brie? I mean he's always been getting his ass beat. Like like what happened when Ryback was putting him through through a table. Brie Bella wasn't running out then, and we all knew about the relationship. It's just WWE is going super public with it now. Like, why is this only now happening? Now, why do we now have to force? Like, to me, it feels forced, and I don't like it because I understand that now we're PG, and you can't do. We're gonna DDT you and make out in front of your wife. Because honestly, I think Steph wouldn't mind being DDT'd. Steph will take it. She's okay with that. Brie Bella, we know, isn't going to take that bump. She's not. No, not going to happen. And I understand that Daniel Bryan can't take the beating that he has been because, Randy Orton has pretty much buried the guy, last month. But in that same regard, it's like I didn't see full Viper here. I didn't see a completely vicious guy. I just saw a guy that, I didn't feel the emotion of it when Brie got there. As a matter of fact, when Brie got there, I got less invested in it. It worked much less for me. I didn't like it. Like it felt forced. It really did. Maybe it's just me. I mean, let me know what you thought about it. I mean, I get the whole beating somebody in front of their girlfriend thing, but it did not work for me. It didn't. I didn't believe it for 1 second. But that's it. Yeah, overall this Raw was all over the place and a hot mess. I didn't like it. I didn't like the show overall. Once again, like I said, few bright points, but outside of that, didn't really care for it. Yeah, this is Blackjack. I'll probably be posting another Raw review for next week. I'm probably talking about a few more other things. If there's anything you want me to talk about next week, do put it in the comment section below, and I'll definitely try to address it next week. Till then, 2-1 out.